Yay!
Girl.
I had to bring in like a preview. I couldn't find you.
I'm commenting, I'm texting.
Were you in there already? You were there?
I'm here, baby girl.
How are you doing?
So good to see you. I'm doing good. I mean, listen, I know there is so much that we can say about this moment that we are in, but I'm grateful. Deeply, 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 deeply grateful. And I know your beloveds are like, okay, what the hell do I do now?
Right, which is a big reason why I'm glad you're here. And first of all, it's so good to hear your voice and see your face and see your beautiful glow coming through the screen. Thank you. If anybody is unfamiliar with my dear friend Ra here, she is an author, a motivational speaker, an activist. She has a mission in life to have all of us live up to our highest potential. I think that's probably the best way to put it. And to just really stay true to what is really the most authentic and valuable to us. And it's so interesting that the girl that I brought on while I was trying to find you was trying to figure out what to do right now with her highest purpose, right? I almost kind of want you to dive in and kind of answer that question right now, because she was just with us. But sort of, what would your take on that be at this time when people are sort of at this crossroads right now of having this moment of I can change my life path if I'm called to, and what to do there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, now could not be a better time to get really clear about what it is you're here to do. And even more importantly, to get clear about what it is you're about. I talked with my community, Gabby, in, March, when all of this kind of hit the fan. I sent a communication to my beloved community, Move the Crowd, naming this time a sacred pause for the cause, right? And a lot of people heard the pause part, like, okay, the stop, the slow down, right? And I also had to remind us that there was a cause part to the pause, right? And in this sacred pause moment, there are 3 things that we've been asked to look at in this mandate to go home, right? Because that was sort of the first way that this opened up, right? The first was to look at coming home to yourself, right? Because this is all a 100%. Right? All a conversation about foundation. Let's be clear. 2020 was a foundation year. It is a 4-year. If you follow numerology, astrology, it is all about foundation. It is all about setting the groundwork. And one of the things that we have to own and understand is that you cannot build on shaky ground. You cannot build on wobbly foundation.
So you can't build your house on sand, right?
You understand what I'm saying? Everybody got a timeout. Universe was like, stop. All of y'all go somewhere to sit down, right? This is the mandate. So the first invitation is to come home to you. And in what way are you maybe not caring for, not honoring, not nurturing, not holding space for yourself? And this is an important one for us, beloveds, because I know every single one of you out there is about bringing the light to the world, is about teaching, is about creating the pathway for others, is about healing and uplifting others. And it is so easy to leave us out of our own equation.
Yeah.
Right? So the first call was check in with you and create the sacred and holy space to listen for your higher wisdom. Listen for where you are being guided, to listen for where you are being ministered to right now, right? That was invitation number 1.
Okay.
Second invitation in the go home, get your house in order. Get your house in order. And that's everything from environment to your relationships to your finances. And so for some of us, home is this incredible, sacred, wonderful, amazing place. It is truly our sanctuary and our haven. For others of us, home is a holy hot mess. And whether it is the kitchen drawer, y'all hear what I'm saying, or whether it is that you need to be moving to a completely different space, this was your time to check in, to take that inventory. Your intimate relationships, because look, we know, When we're busy, there's a lot of things we don't have to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
When we're busy, there's a lot of things that we don't have to contend with.
Being busy is a form of not dealing, right? Yep.
Look, right? When we're busy, there's a lot of things we don't have to sit with.
Yep.
Right? And so this call to our relationships and the inventory of the quality of our relationships and the recognition of what relationships do we need to bring closer and what relationships do we need to release. This was all in this invitation of getting our house in order and our finances. Because listen, and I will say this with all the love in my soul, I know this has been a wake-up call financially for so many people.
Yep.
So many people, right?
Yep.
Wake up call financially. Where are you? Are you taken care of? Have you put the things that you need to put in place to ensure that you're cared for, right? In this time, critical, right? I was talking with a phenomenal entrepreneur and workspace owner in Newark when we first kind of got the call. And he said to me, the average business owner in Newark has about 14 days of
Yep.
running room.
Yep.
14 days
Yep.
of running room, right? So already businesses gone that are not coming back.
Yep.
In 2 weeks, gone that are not coming back. So I named this because this is all of what we get to be seeing right now, all of what we get to be recognizing right now, and all of what we get to be telling the truth about where we're being called and where we're being invited to come in and take a look right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come back to the money because I know it's big. I promise.
Yes, I want to get back there for sure. Yes, yes.
Third invitation, reset your energy. Reboot your system, your sacred system, to realign with your highest truth and your highest calling, right? A lot of us came into the top of 2020 like a bat out of hell, right? Like, I'm getting it, like whatever I didn't have the last decade, I'm getting it now. We were scrambling. The energy was intense and frenetic and desperate, dare I say.
Desperate.
Anxious, right? We had all of this moving through the ecosystem of our being. And the spirit said, I'm going to hit the pause button and you're going to go get a reset. And the length of the reset is up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you, right? So those were the 3 invitations in the go home, right?
Uh-huh.
Now I want to talk a little bit about the stay home practices, right? Because, okay, I went home. I was willing to look or not look to whatever degree. I've taken the inventory. I've gotten clear about what's calling for my energy and what's calling for my attention right now. And I'm ready to be about the business of what it is, right? Because in the aligning with your truth and your true calling, inspiration showed up for so many of us. Innovation showed up for so many of us. Creativity, unlike we had ever seen before, showed up. Unlike, right? So it's like, okay, now that I'm seeing all of this as opportunity, what are the sacred practices that I need to be engaging in order to sustain my connection to the higher holy wisdom that is moving through these times?
This is so exciting that you're going to go here, because I think so many people are seeing this as an opportunity, as you said, but they have no idea what to do with it or how to turn it into an opportunity or how to maximize that. And then you use the word sustain that. So go, unleash it, give it to us.
Yeah.
What do we do?
What's important to know for those of you who are in this conversation of like, oh my God, there's all this new energy and new information and new insight coming through, to recognize, yes, because we have gotten stiller, the voice has gotten louder, right? So that has been part of the function of this time. So I want to talk about sustaining, and then I want to talk about how we reemerge, right? Because I also know that there's a new level of anxiety that has shown up as we are now starting to come back, right? Because I think on some level we got a little comfortable interestingly enough, in this awkward normal, right? This new normal, and it's about to shift again. And people are like, what do you mean it's about to shift again, right? So the practices for sustaining, the first is to be paying attention to the sources of your information. Where are you being informed by? And what are you being informed by, right? So, there's an old African saying, Gabby, be careful whose lap you lay your head in.
Yeah.
Be careful whose lap you lay your head in.
Right.
And I've translated that to be careful whose ground you put your ear to.
Yeah, that's right.
So are you informed, or are you hooked into anxiety inducing sensationalism about what this is or is not? And are you able to discern the difference? Because this is a discipline. Here's the deal, right? Like, this pandemic is the reason we're calling it. But the truth is, Gabby, that the work is always the work, is always the work, is always the work.
Yeah.
And life is always going to give you an opportunity to do the work.
And this is a big one.
Always going to give you an opportunity to do the work. So no matter what the twist in the road is that we happen to call it or brand it or name it or frame it, it's always the invitation to do the work. And so if we're awake and aware enough, we will understand this for what it is. We will see it for what it is. We will honor it for what it is, right? That being said, your sources of information and developing the discipline. So what does it look like specifically as a bearer of the light? What does it look like for us to be informed, awake and aware of what's happening in our world, but not hooked into the propaganda, not hooked into the sensationalism, not caught up in the fear producing and inducing conversations that can take you down all kinds of roads you really ain't trying to travel in day or night, right?
Yep.
So that's the first discipline, practice, mindful of your sources of information. Second practice, keep your vibration high.
And practice number 2 requires practice number 1.
Come on. Keep your vibration high. Pay attention to what it is that you are consuming. Recognize that we are co-creating with our thinking, with our speaking, with our actions. And so we get to ask at a very early stage, what do we want to be co-creating with? Do we want to be co-creating with love? Do we want to be co-creating with fear? Do we want to be, y'all hear what I'm saying, right? You have a responsibility as a light worker to protect your enthusiasm. You have a responsibility as a light worker to stay grounded, rooted firmly, unwaveringly in love, and honoring the practices and honoring the consumptions that enable you to stay there and stand there.
You have a responsibility as a light worker to protect your enthusiasm. I just had to repeat that. That was massive. Yes, carry on. Sorry, I had to say that loud again.
The responsibility, right? Because if we can't be the light if we are not the light. That's the bottom line. And so I'm saying this to you all with love, because these are practices, right? It's not like you get there once and you stay there forever. You got to stay in your work and in your practices so that you can hold the light, right? And be the light. And that may mean that you do a lot of fasting right through here. A lot of fasting right through here, right? Time, energy, people, right? Conversations, certain types of foods. There may be certain things that you just know right now through here in this moment, maybe I can't partake in the way that I normally would.
Totally.
Third practice, big one for us, learning how to sit in uncertainty. Learning how to align and work with the magic and the mystery. Learning how to deepen our faith in what we cannot see, and know that all is well, and know that there is enough, and know that we are worthy. We are worthy of the things that call us. We are worthy of the things that we aspire to. We are worthy of the things that we dream of. And that there is enough love, attention, money, time, energy, right aligned souls. And that below all of the chaos and the mayhem and the drama is a deep, 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 deep calm. And a deep, 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 deep well that is always available to us. And it is our responsibility to strengthen and expand our capacity to surrender and honor and respect what we do not know.
Girlfriend. So good. And I really want to acknowledge what you just did for us, which was show us that we can't be in that certainty without 1 and 2. We can't, if we're not keeping our house clean. But when you said number 2 of also keeping your house clean, that's what we sort of stepped into. That to me also meant our house, our house. So if we're not keeping our house clean, how can we build upon it, right? So with that clarity of what is the news that we're going to intake, what are the thoughts that we're going to think, when we really make that a high priority right now, that's when we can be a container to hold the space to receive that certainty, that inner direction, that intuition, that inspiration, that safety, that security that we are all longing for. And I would like to testify and say, I have, without even having spoken to you, little text messages back and forth, I've been tracking this path, my friend. I've been tracking that path, exactly. And I'm really proud to say that, cleaning my house, mentally and literally, I can show you guys my cabinets, they look really good. But cleaning house has put me, Zach said to me yesterday, how are you feeling? I said, I've actually never felt better. That doesn't mean that there aren't major challenges in my life too, right? Yeah. But I because I heard that call and I saw the opportunity to go in, clean house, busted through some stuff I never even thought. It would have taken me a year to get through. But right now I used it. Yeah.
So I want to talk about that.
Talk about that.
What does the inner work look like?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you do it?
For me, 2 weeks into this shelter in place, I had a dream. And I was out in the middle of this raging sea. And the waves were like washing over me. And I'm fighting, you all, like I'm swimming. I mean, full on, like arms going. And all I could see, right, in my mind was that this is what I needed to do in order to get to the shore. Right. And I mean, I was determined to fight these waves. And I'm going. And at some point, I really felt like the water was going to overtake me. Right. Like, oh, my God, I may not make it. I can't stop. I have to keep going.
Sounds familiar.
I then felt the energy of Source in the water come alongside of me. And Source showed me an image of myself rocking on the current with my arms wide open and my legs spread out, gently being tossed to and fro in the current, giggling like a baby. And there was no change in the condition of the water. In other words, the sea was still rocky. The sky was still stormy. The only difference was my approach to the waves. And Spirit said to me, do not fight the waves. Let the current carry you.
Yep.
Do not fight the waves. Let the current carry you. And it was in that dream, in that channeled experience that I understood, like, oh, a lot of ways that I could be with this.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
I could try to control it. I could try to force my will on what I think this should look like. or I could surrender, and I could trust that
Yes.
there is more than one way to get to my destination, i.e. my destiny, i.e.
Yep.
the shore,
Yep.
right? So I want to talk a little bit about how do we prepare to re-enter, right? Because Gabby, in this conversation, people are like, okay, got the download, got this new level of clarity. Now, how do I come
There
back?
you go. Yep. Let's
How do
get
I
into that.
come back into this re-emerging moment that we're in, right? And here's where I want to talk to you all about what I believe are the three gifts. The three gifts. And they're rooted in what has been our message and Move the Crowd for the year. Like, we've been in observance of this message, and it has been kicking everybody's ass. So let's be clear about it, right? We're all coming through, all of us, right? The first gift is the realignment with your relationship with yourself. And the invitation and the receipt of the invitation to move to a new level of self-love, self-awareness, self-appreciation, and self-honoring.
Yep.
It's everything from how you feel to all of the aspects of your expression that you've been sitting on, your creativity, your ingenuity, to what you know in your heart of hearts and in your soul of souls is most important to you in terms of where you ought to be placing your time and your energy and your intention, and what at the beginning and middle and end of the day really, really matters. What really matters. I can tell you, I learned through this that there's very little that matters. That's really, really important to me.
Yeah, I
It is,
agree with
it is,
that.
we hear it's the simple things all the time. But I think there's an opportunity if we really, really got eye to eye and heart to heart with ourselves. I think we would realize wow, this was an example of recognizing, wow, sun on my face, fresh water, toilet paper, dare I say. Simple things, simple things. It is amazing how much we can do with very little.
That's right.
So this re-honoring of self, realigning with self. And when I'm talking about self, I'm talking about sacred self. I'm talking about soul self. I'm talking about whole self, right? And another level of self-respect
Yes.
in all of the ways that self-respect wants to show up for you in this time.
Right.
Number one, self-loving, self-honoring, self-caring, self-respecting. Number two, the realigning with your relationship to source. Money is not your supply.
That's right.
People, not your supply. Conditions, circumstances, not your supply. Source, however you define it, God, universe, creativity, love, the great awakening, however you define it, that is your supply. And you have an infinite storehouse that you can tap into at any moment that you desire to generate whatever it is that you believe you need. And I say this, Gabby, because we hang so much of our security and our worth and our well-being and our sense of self on what's in our bank account.
100%.
And the more that we pressurize that, and the more that we deify that, and the more that we false god that, all of a sudden the harder it becomes to come by. All of a sudden the harder it becomes to find. All of a sudden the harder it becomes to generate and create. Where we give from is infinite when we're plugged into love and we're plugged into source. And where we receive from is infinite when we're plugged into source, when we're plugged into truth, when we're plugged into love. And so when you're looking to anything outside of you to be the answer, I promise you disappointment is awaiting.
That's right.
I promise you disempowerment is awaiting. So you've got to come home to, one, am I giving from a full and replenished place? Notice how it takes us right to your relationship with yourself. Am I full? Am I nourished? Am I cared for? Before I run out into the world and out into the street to do it for everybody else, am I good? Have I done what I need to do to ensure that I'm good, right? Giving from a full place, giving from a full cup, from a replenished well. Two, am I receiving? Am I genuinely allowing love back in? Am I letting myself be supported? Am I allowing others to show up for me? I was in a conversation just the other day with a powerful leader, somebody, Gabby, who's been giving for the last 20 years, like just incredible work in the world. And this person had recently suffered a major injury. And they were grappling with feeling bad about allowing people to care for them, people who loved them, people who felt it was an honor to be able to give to them in this way. They were ashamed. And we all have it, right? So I'm saying that person, but that person is us. We all have it, this feeling like it's not okay to let people show up for us. It's not okay to let people have our back. It's not okay to let people do the thing that we maybe in this moment are not able to do for ourselves. Breathe on that, y'all. Because that's our relationship to source.
So to the person that's out there right now who is hearing everything you're saying and believing everything you're saying, but they're immobilized, they're so stuck in fear, uncertainty, the financial insecurity of what's up for them right now, the fear of illness, fear of death of family members or loved ones. What's the number one thing you can leave us with that will really give people a grounded place of what can I do right now?
Yes, perfect, because it takes me to the third and final gift.
There you go, perfect.
Right, which is the realignment with your relationship to the world. And I'm going to say your world, because your world is the world. In other words, the world is what you say it is. Yep. And it is what you make it. So if you have decided that it's a shit show, and you decided that it's chaos, and you decided that you're going to embrace recession, then that is what you will have. But if you've decided, no, actually, this is a rebirth moment for me. No, actually, this is a time of realignment for me. No, actually, I'm going to step into what I know that I've been asked to do, and I'm going to trust that I am cared for, and I'm going to listen and honor and obey the guidance that I'm receiving, then I know that I have the potential to experience a different reality.
There you go.
Here's the thing, Gabby, the guidance has never been louder. So in the what do we do, what do we do, what do we do, it isn't to ask me or to ask you, it's to go sit and be still and to ask spirit, show me.
Which actually, interestingly, brings us right back to that woman that was with us. I don't know what to do about my career path. But it's not just that question, it's every question. I don't know what to do about my relationship with this person I'm stuck in quarantine with. I don't know what to do about my finances. I don't know what to do about my child care. I don't know what to do about sending my kid to school or not. All these questions, there's so much query, and the resistance is going to be magnified when the query becomes so overwhelming that we try to start forcing answers.
Yeah.
and trying to, look to everybody else. So this lovely woman who came on, my dear Gabby, 5 minutes of, checking in to get me to give her an answer, or looking to your, family members for an answer, looking to the news for an answer. And you've nailed it with this beautiful sermon today, my love. You've nailed it, which is that the answers are louder than ever right now. The answers are louder than ever right now. But we have two choices. We can tune in to receive that information, or we can continue to resist it. And that's the path we can take. Either one, we can choose. Right now in this moment, we choose.
And I want to be really clear, right, in what you're saying about, right, whether or not, what are we going to choose? Are we going to honor what we're hearing? And in the honoring and the willingness to accept and embrace the guidance is about the permission.
That's right.
Can you give yourself permission to follow the guidance? Can you give yourself permission to make the hard call? Can you give yourself permission to make the tough decision? Can you give yourself permission to tell the truth about whatever the state is of your relationship, of your finances, of your home, of your work? Can you give yourself permission to just courageously face what is working and what is not working? And can you give yourself permission to be a cause for the solution, for the answer?
Well, listen, I think you've blown many people's minds just now, right? Guys, give us some hearts if your minds are blown. Let's see some hearts here if your minds are blown. Because I've been seeing people commenting and hearting and emojiing and everything coming through. There, here are your hearts. There you go, Rob. And so just to be clear, if this is your first time experiencing the wisdom that is Rob, I want you to read her book. I want you to read this book, The Calling, and it actually couldn't be more relevant and appropriate than it is right now. Mm-hmm. It can't. Go to Amazon right now and get this book, people, because this wisdom and this information is coming from someone who's lived it.
Yeah.
So it's why you and I, having made the commitment to live in these ways, can say in the midst of a pandemic, when I can't go out and see people, I have, more work than I've ever had in my life. I have a full-time chef, and I'm a full-time mom, and I'm a full-time business owner, and I'm a full-time everything, but I've never been more grateful. I've never been more centered. I've never been more grounded because of every single step that you just outlined. It was 6 steps, actually, right? It was about 6 or 9 steps. 3, and 3. Right. It was 3 and 3.
3 practices, 3 gifts.
3 gifts. Living those can give you that freedom to go through this and move through this time, letting this obstacle be revealed as an opportunity.
Yeah.
This is a choice that we have. That's the big point, though. Yeah. And I think if anybody walks away with anything from this video, is that they have a choice. Yeah. They have the choice to say, I'm going to open up to the possibility that this could be an opportunity for me, no matter what my circumstances may be.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to stay stuck, numb, eating my bonbons and hiding out.
Yeah. Here's the thing, you all. Life is designed to grow you, which means that the opportunities will keep coming to do the work. Remember what I said at the top. It is always, life is designed to give you the opportunities to do the work. So you will do it today or you will do it tomorrow. You all hear what I'm saying. But the opportunities will keep coming. Right. If you embrace this opportunity, if you enable and allow and give yourself permission to maximize this opportunity, what is available for you is truly game-changing.
Yeah.
Game-changing. Game-changing. The book, thank you for mentioning, Gabby, it's the blueprint. So if you're like, okay, I'm lit up, I'm on fire, I'm ready, show me how, step by step, just to know that the book is available to you as a blueprint, as a guide, to be able to say yes and move, monetize, impact, all of it, it's there. Regardless of what you choose to do today, if you are receiving any of what we've talked about, ask yourself, how can I use the gift of this moment? How can I maximize the gift of this moment with humility, with grace? And this is not an egoic, how can I learn to speak 12 languages? But
Right.
this is more like, how can I get to the truth and to the heart of the matter for what's going to make a difference for me and in my life and in my world and for those who I am being called to serve right now.
Epic. I always appreciate a raw throwdown.
It's been a minute. And I
listen, this, my new channel here, this Dear Gabby, is all about the throwdown, okay? It's all about, we don't have any conversations that are not fully channeled on this show that is Dear Gabby here. So, Ra, I love you so deeply. I'm so proud to have you as a friend and a sister. And I really want to encourage everybody to follow you, to go do the book. Because if what you heard just now, if you're still watching, you are a rock star. You've been at it for 45 minutes, and she's been going. And it's beautiful because it felt like 1 minute, right? And the people that are still watching right now, I want you to take a moment to acknowledge yourself. If those of you who are sticking around for content like this, yes, give yourself some hearts. If you're sticking around for content like this and listening to content like this, and you're not, shifting away to go buy something or go figure out what's for dinner or whatever, but you're sitting here and you're listening and you're really taking it in, then you're ready to go big right now. Then you're hearing that calling, as Rob would say. Get that book, go get the calling, go get the book, go big with this. Give yourself permission to be, Rob always says, be unapologetic about your greatness. Be unapologetic about your earning capacity. Be unapologetic about your super attractor power. Be unapologetic about all of this. And so, listen, take that in, take that message, do what do what you can today to take that first right action towards making this obstacle an opportunity.
I want to end us with, because I think we're going to the end. Listen, girl, this, I just want to say, if you all do not have the deck and the book and the journal, I've been rolling deep. So I just want to say that the card that I pulled for us today, because I had to pull a card for us today, says, my greatest spiritual shifts don't come through force. They come through freedom.
Do you want to know what's really fabulous? That was my card today. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. And I actually almost posted it. I am not even kidding you. Thank you very, very much. My greatest shifts do not come through force, but they come through freedom. I remember when I was writing the book, and I always highlight these quotes from what I'm writing because I know that they're going to go in the decks later.
Yeah.
So I was typing, and I remember writing that specific line and saying, ooh, highlighting it and saying, this is in the deck. And there's those certain messages that come through that they are not you.
Yes.
Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody, let's give Ra a high five or raise your hands up in the air in that comment, in the comments below. Give us some emojis, give us some hearts, give her some love. Let's say thank you. People are saying, OMG, thank you. They're freaking out here, Ra. Yep, thank you, love. High fives, everybody's at it. I want to really acknowledge every single person who stuck around until the end. That's major. It's really major. It's a big deal to still. And the thing that's so interesting is the viewership didn't change the whole time. You just carried people. It felt like probably 1 minute, but it's been, a lot. We've been here 46 minutes and nobody even noticed the difference. And they're saying thank you and I love you. And they just felt that. I mean, it literally felt like we've been here for 3 seconds talking. Ra, let it come through today.
I love you, GB.
I love you
always,
so much. Really, really energizing to be with you. I love you deeply. Everybody go grab your copy of Ra Goddess's book, The Calling. Head over to Amazon now. I love you, my sweet. Thank you. I'm going to share this so everybody can rewatch it.
Love you, mama.
Bye, baby.
Bye, baby.